All right, thanks so much for joining us once again on The Bright Side. I definitely want to talk about a nutritional supplement that in many ways may be the single most important nutritional supplement you can ever take. Certainly, deficiencies in this particular nutritional supplement are rife, and deficiencies in this particular nutritional supplement can lead to many, many signs of physical dysfunction, including cardiovascular issues. We are talking about heart disease and alternatives to prescription drugs for cardiovascular disease. Some of you may have noticed that we haven't even really talked about cholesterol as we're discussing how effective a nutritional supplement program can be for cardiovascular health. Cholesterol is one of the last things that you really want to concern yourself about, especially considering the nutritional deficiencies that most of us are laboring under. When it comes to physical wellness, folks, when it comes to our health and our well-being, it's not a complicated issue, even though it may seem that our symptoms are complicated, and even though it may seem that the medical model wants to portray our diseases as being a complicated morass, basically to disempower us and to empower authority figures, health authority figures. Look, the body is like a business. For those of you guys in business, or even if you're just doing your home budget, you know that you're either in the red or in the black. At any given moment, you're spending money, and at any given moment, you're saving money. If you're in a business, you're making money and you're spending money, and you're doing them both together. What matters at the end of the day is whether you're net in the red or net in the black. It doesn't matter how much you're spending. It doesn't matter how much you're saving. It matters what shows up at the bottom line at the end. And physical health is the same way. At any given moment, we're either breaking down, we're either in the red, net, or in the black. We're either building up, net. Now, we're doing both together. Just like in a business, you're spending and you're earning together, but the bottom line is what counts. The bottom line in a business is what counts. The bottom line in your home budget is what counts, and the bottom line in health is what counts. It doesn't matter if your disease state shows up as high blood pressure, or shows up as a skin disease like acne, or shows up like arthritis, or shows up like a thyroid problem, or shows up as any of the 12,800 different disease states that we supposedly have. The bottom line is you're breaking down. You're in the black. You're in the red. You're breaking down. You're in the red. And we want to figure out how can we go net in the black. There are certain things that we do on a regular basis that conspire to keep our net budget, if you will, or our net income in a deficit status. Deficit status is a disease status. And there's a lot of things that we do on a regular basis that have the result of making us in the red, in a deficit status. For example, sugar and inflammatory foods. Sugar and inflammatory foods are a powerful way to cost yourself energy, and the more sugar and inflammatory foods you eat, the more likely you're going to be to end up in the red, in a health deficit status. Now, that health deficit status may show up as arthritis. It may show up as an autoimmune disease. It may show up as acne. It may show up as eczema. It may show up as a movement disorder. But the bottom line is you're in the red. And we want to figure out how to get in the black. It doesn't matter whether it's arthritis or whether it's acne. We want to figure out how to get you back in the black. Eliminating inflammatory foods, eliminating sugary foods. These can go a long way towards improving numerous health conditions, because eliminating inflammatory foods and eliminating sugary foods pushes us into the black from being in the red. It pushes us into the anabolic or building mode from the catabolic or breakdown mode. So I don't like focusing on symptoms. I don't like focusing on diseases, which is why most of the time when I'm talking to you about whatever your health issues are, we're going to backtrack it to the digestive system, we're going to backtrack it to the blood sugar system, and we're going to go back to the adrenal thyroid system. This diagnosis mentality where we focus on our symptoms does not serve us. This diagnosis mentality where we focus on our symptoms serves the medical model. It serves people who want to sell us drugs and sell us remedies and sell us surgeries and sell us testing and sell us all kinds of procedures. And we're no healthier than we were when we started. And this is why people are so dissatisfied with the medical model. This is why we've accepted pharmaceutical medicine, because we accept that if our test measures or our test scores say that we're getting better, even if we still feel like crap. We know so much about the body today, it's staggering. If you go into a medical library, There are volumes and volumes and volumes highlighting and elucidating every single molecular and biochemical reaction that can possibly occur. Every single enzyme system has been explained and explored and highlighted and elucidated, yet we are sicker than ever before. We're so smart, we're stupid, because we're missing the point. The body is breaking down, and that's the point. The reversal of the disease process, no matter what that disease is, involves reversing the net breakdown to the net buildup. And reversing net breakdown into net buildup, reversing net catabolism breakdown into net anabolism buildup is not that complicated. First and foremost, you want to eliminate inflammatory and digestive problems. You want to eliminate foods that exacerbate digestive problems and exacerbate inflammation. First and foremost among those foods are refined carbohydrates and refined flours. And my friends, if we do not get this intake of refined carbohydrates and refined flours and refined sugars under control, there's no way we can reach our genetic allotted lifespan of 120 to 130 years. It's just not going to happen. There's no way we can maintain our health on the way to our ultimate death either. We have to get this eating thing under control. And I hate willpower, as I've said many, many times. You don't need willpower. You shouldn't need willpower. It's very easy to get off of refined flours, or at least reduce your intake of refined flours, refined sugars, and refined and processed foods. Simply by making better food choices, you will find yourself naturally able to wean yourself off, naturally able to gravitate away from these problematic foods. We'll continue our discussion when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You are listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Bright Side. Nutritional Pharmacist Ben here. If you like what you hear, we are here 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central Time, 5 days a week. Make sure you tell your friends. And if you miss a program, you can always review anything you like on the archive page, brightsideben.com, where you will find a shopping cart including all the longevity products that we talk about and recommend here on the Bright Side, including my favorite, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine multivitamin mineral complex powder. You add to water and drink it. I cannot tell you how many letters I get about how effective this stuff is. Not that I'm surprised. And I got to figure out a way to put some of these letters I'm getting on the website, because they truly are amazing. I got one this morning from China that I wanted to share with you. Hopefully I can find it. I mean, this thing was amazing. Can't find it right now. We'll get to it when I come back from our next break, because this was a really cool letter. And I get a lot of letters like this, folks. The bottom line is the body is designed for health. The body's a healing system. It's a repairing system. As long as we remove the crap and we put in the good stuff and do a couple of other things, maybe a little bit of exercise, move the lymphatic system around, perhaps do a little bit of deep breathing, practicing deep breathing, we can be powerfully healthy, because the body is designed to be powerfully healthy. This absolutely horrendous state of health in America today does not have to be, and it is just the result of poor lifestyle strategies. It's the result of a lifestyle that does not take into account how the body likes to work. One of the keys to this whole process is understanding inflammation and understanding the digestive system. If you have any kind of health issue, job number one, friends, is to eliminate inflammatory foods, and that's the sugary refined foods, and to work on the digestive system. I don't like willpower. I don't like having to force myself not to do something that I want to do. So the trick to removing yourself from the table when the bread and the pizza and the desserts are sitting there and you definitely want to go for it is to figure out how to hit your brain's satisfaction buttons. In our brain, we have appetite suppressant buttons, appetite shut-off buttons. And these appetite shut-off switches are keyed into certain substances. Protein, for example, shuts off appetite. Fats, good fats, can shut off the appetite as well. Making sure that you are proteinated, making sure you're getting enough protein, and making sure you're getting enough good fat is one of the most effective health strategies you will ever employ in your life, simply because, well, not only because of the health benefits directly attributed to protein and amino acids and good fats, but because they'll shut off your appetite shut off your appetite switch, turn on your appetite suppression switch, and allow you to withstand the temptations of refined sugars and refined carbohydrates that we're constantly laboring under without having to use willpower. Now, among the fats, the most powerful are two fats that are referred to as essential fatty acids. Now, nothing in the world of nutrition is more important than essential fatty acids. First of all, the word essential means you better get it in your diet or you're in big trouble. And secondly, essential fatty acids are perhaps the most multifunctional and versatile of all the essential nutrients. We're talking about cardiovascular issues, but essential fatty acids are not just important for the heart. They're important for everything in the body. In fact, essential fatty acids are involved in the construction of every one of the 100 trillion cells in the body. This multifunctional nature of essential fatty acids is really without comparison. And on top of all of this, on top of the importance of essential fatty acids, EFAs, it's a rare person who is getting enough of this stuff, even if they're smart enough to be supplementing. And if you're not supplementing, well, there's just no way that you can get enough of these EFAs. It's one of the first nutritional components that's processed out of foods. And when you cook foods, not only do you reduce, maybe even eliminate the health benefits that you get from essential fatty acids, but what's even worse, when you cook and you refine and you process foods, you can actually produce toxicity and even carcinogenicity, cancer-causingness, via the cooking process, via cooking essential fats. This nutritional substance, essential fatty acids, is involved in hormonal health. It's involved in skin health. It's involved in the health of the cell, and it is very, very, very closely involved in the health of the cardiovascular system and the circulatory system. And once again, most of us aren't getting anywhere near the EFAs that we need. If you're one of those folks that's craving French fries or craves fatty foods in general, craves chips, craves pizza, cheese, milk, dairy products, all the kinds of fats that we like, the chances are really good that you're not getting enough essential fatty acids. And here's a little test that you can do. Go to the health food store, get yourself a bottle of liquid essential fatty acids. I like one called Udo's Blend, UDOS, Udo's Blend, and drink down a quarter of the bottle. Just guzzle it down. Guzzle down a quarter or a third or even a half of the bottle. And then drive by McDonald's and smell the French fries. And I guarantee you, folks, if you just drank yourself a half a bottle of essential fatty acids, there is no way you can even stand the smell of French fries. Just the thought of French fries will make you sick. And that's the way it should be. Once you've met your body's need for fats, for essential fats, you will not want any more fats. In fact, there are actually connections between your tongue and these shutoff chemicals that will suppress your desire for fat. Simply putting essential fatty acids in your mouth and swishing them around and letting the EFAs contact your taste buds will stimulate chemicals that will turn off your appetite for fats. So you want to treat your desire, your drives, your cravings for fatty foods as deficiencies in essential fatty acids. Listen to your cravings. Always listen to your cravings. Cravings for sugar, treat that as a need for protein. Cravings for salt, treat that as a need for minerals. Cravings for fatty foods, treat that as your body's cry for essential fatty acids. And just think about how often we crave fatty foods. Most of us are craving fatty foods on an hourly basis because essential fatty acids are used by the body rapidly, and it doesn't take long to become deficient. And that's if we're supplementing. Imagine how severe a deficiency states can be if we're not supplementing with essential fatty acids. And then remember, 60% of Americans, 65% of Americans have some kind of fat absorption problem or digestive problem. If you have a fat absorption issue, if you had a gallbladder removed, if you have fatty liver disease, if you're not producing enough stomach acid, if you have a pancreatic problem, all of these can cause fat absorption problems. And once again, you're going to be deficient in these essential, remember essential fatty acids. And even though we haven't talked a lot about these EFAs, please understand the importance of essential fatty acids for overall health, for overall wellness, and especially for cardiovascular health and wellness cannot be overstated. We could spend a lot of time, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about these EFAs. They're part of the macronutrient component of the 8 chapters of Good Nutrition. The 8 chapters of Good Nutrition: protein, fats, and carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, fiber, water, and trace and accessory nutrients. The 8 chapters of Good Nutrition can be divided into big nutrients, nutrients we need grams and ounces of, and small nutrients, nutrients we need small amounts of, micronutrients. Your macronutrients: proteins, fats, water, fiber, and carbohydrates. 5 macronutrients, and essential fatty acids are key in the macronutrient component of the 8 chapters of good nutrition. All right, we'll continue our discussion on EFAs. Got a bunch of folks on the line who want to talk to us. Our number is 866-582-9933. We'll come back with your phone calls and more good health information on the bright side. So Enrica writes from China. Just a short note to tell you how my health has improved. I owe you and Dr. Wallach and Bob Beck a lot of gratitude. I tried to buy some BTT in China. It's not an option, but I did follow your instructions. I did add some more protocols. It's been 2 months, and from having extreme pain and ending up in a wheelchair, ending up in a wheelchair, I can now walk again, and in fact decided to leave the polluted environment and go home after being here for 10 years. And I have enough energy every day to pack my stuff and prepare for my return home. Folks, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, you're going to lose weight. And I get a lot of people who call up and write to me, and they want to know how they can lose weight. Everybody's heard Alex has lost 37 pounds. Aaron Dykes over at the Alex Jones Show has lost 60-plus pounds. Ted has lost 25 or 30 pounds. People lose a lot of weight once they start these kinds of programs. People feel better. People have more energy. But what you're really doing is you're changing your body's chemistry so you have health. It has nothing to do with the diagnosis, and you're going to feel better and you're going to lose weight, but that's not what you focus on. What you want to focus on is changing the body's chemistry so our health improves. And once that happens, the diabetes will go away. You will have more energy, your weight will drop, and you will just plain feel better. And that's what this is all about. Changing the body's biochemistry so the overall health changes and we just feel better. Our appearance will be better too. You're going to lose weight. Once you start to reestablish or rebalance your body's chemistry with these strategies, you're definitely going to lose weight. Don't worry about that. Your skin is going to improve. If you have acne, it's going to get better. Your blood pressure will drop, and on and on and on. Your symptoms are going to improve, and all of your markers will improve. But the point is that you're changing the chemistry of your body. In fact, you're changing the chemistry of the body back to where it's supposed to be. The human body's not designed to be eating this many calories. The human body's not designed to be eating this type of calories. Unfortunately, we have people who understand the chemistry of the body, called food processors, and they know how to get us to keep eating. And they know how to make us eat those chips, and they know how to make us not able to stop eating chips and crackers and fried foods and French fries. So you got to learn how to hack into the body's chemistry, hack into the brain, and figure out how to hit those satisfaction buttons using fat, using protein, and using salt. If you're one of those people that craves fatty foods, up your essential fatty acids. If you're one of those folks that crave sugar and bread and flour and cereal, up your protein. And if you're one of those folks that craves salty foods, make sure you're using Celtic sea salt and liquid colloidal minerals like you'll find in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Tangy Tangerine Ultimate Classic and other longevity products. It is not that difficult. When it comes to fats, there are so many places where essential fatty acids play a role in health, and we'll be covering them at length in the coming days. Essential fatty acids are electron-rich. They're electrical, and they're stored in a cell membrane where they reestablish the electrical energy of a cell. Essential fatty acids are oxygen magnets. They keep oxygen local to a cell where that oxygen can be used eventually for energy. A cancer cell is a cell that has somehow been suffocated over a long period of time and doesn't need to use oxygen any longer. So by upping your intake of essential fatty acids, you can provide yourself with a powerful, powerful anti-cancer tool. Essential fatty acids help keep cell membranes fluid. They help keep cells integritous. So by upping your intake of essential fatty acids, you're going to be improving all of the markers of cell health as well. Your body's going to force you to find fats if you're not getting essential fatty acids, and what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up with a cell that's made up of pizza pie fat, or with Hershey bar fat, or with chocolate cake fat, or chocolate bar fat, or milk fat, or whatever kind of fat your body can find. If you don't have essential fatty acids for your body to make cell membranes, your body is going to make cell membranes out of whatever fat it can find. And a pizza pie fat cell membrane is not a healthy cell membrane, and it's not a healthy cell. And a healthy cell, an unhealthy cell, means an unhealthy body eventually. We will be covering essential fatty acids at length over the coming days, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that, because in my mind there is no nutritional supplement that has more important health benefits than essential fatty acids. And once again, most of us are going to be deficient unless we are supplementing with these very, very important substances, essential fatty acids. All right, our number is 866-582 9933, 866-582-9933. Got a bunch of folks on the line here, so without further ado, let us take our first phone call. How about if we go to Kenny in Florida? Kenny, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, this is Kenny. I just want to say thank you for your courage and your information that you've been delivering to us
thank you.
Throughout our lives.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I've also been on the program for about 10 weeks. I want to say I also lost 25 pounds, although I didn't really need it.
Nice.
But I feel great. I feel wonderful. I think that's the most important thing that you reiterated.
Yes.
My question to you is, and I've been going through your archives, and I haven't really heard you really talk about this topic, but what are your thoughts about nutritional response testing and whole food supplementation?
Okay, those are two good questions. Now, I'm not sure what you mean by nutritional response testing. If you mean testing the blood for nutrients, is that what you're talking about?
I've been doing a little research. This is, new to me. It's basically how I understand it is it's where a partner would use the energy and they touch certain parts of the body.
With a nutrient? With a nutrient?
Yes, with nutrients in their hands. Yes, sir.
Okay, so in other words, it's like a muscle testing kind of thing, except they do it with nutrients, where they see how your body reacts when they pass a nutrient by you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's exactly correct.
Okay, I didn't never heard of it called nutritional response testing, but I know what you're talking about. I'd much rather you ate the nutritional supplement and see how you felt. I call that functional testing, to see if you improve your function. So in other words, you take enough B vitamins and you see how you feel. If you feel better, then you needed the B vitamins. So I like a version of nutritional response testing, except instead of waving the B vitamins in front of you, you actually take the B vitamins and see how you feel. This idea of muscle testing and kinesiology is very interesting. And for the folks who haven't heard of kinesiology or muscle testing, it's where you hold a substance in your left hand and you see how your right hand responds. If your right hand, they have you stick your hand out, and if your hand becomes stronger when you hold a substance, then that substance is good. If your hand becomes weaker, or your arm, I should say, becomes weaker, then that substance is bad. Theoretically, muscle testing is a great idea. The problem is with muscle testing is you can't really control things. So if, say, I hold a bottle of something and my muscles get weaker, it would seem like, according to muscle testing, that the bottle of whatever I was holding was a bad substance. If I hold that substance and my muscles get stronger, it would seem like that substance is good for me because it's making my muscles stronger. The problem is, what happens if I think about, say, my ex-wife while I'm holding that substance? How do I know that it's the substance that it was bad, or the thought that passed through my mind that is causing my muscles to become weaker? In other words, it's hard to control all the variables. So even though it's theoretically, probably from a theoretical standpoint, it makes sense, it's too hard to control all the variables, and that's my problem with muscle testing. And I would probably say the same thing about nutritional response testing. Now, what was the second question you asked me, Ken?
About
whole foods. Whole food supplements. That's a very good question. I love that. Actually, we got to take a break. That's a great question, though, Kenny. We'll talk about whole food supplements when we come back, because I have something very important I want to say about that. Hope I didn't confuse things with that description about muscle testing and nutritional response testing. Hang tight, Kenny. Hang tight, everybody on the line. We'll get to all our calls when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Our number 866-582-9933. We'll be back right after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. I am nutritional pharmacist Ben. I hope I didn't confuse things with that explanation about muscle testing. You hold something in your left hand that you're testing, and then you keep your right hand out straight. And if your right hand becomes stronger and you can't push it down, or somebody else can't push it down while you're holding whatever you're testing in your left hand, then that substance in your left hand is said to be a good substance, at least for you. If your arms become weaker when you hold that substance in your left hand and somebody can push it down with greater ease, then that substance is said to be bad for you. Theoretically, that makes sense. The problem is if you happen to be thinking something or somebody walks across the street and you notice them, and there's all kinds of variables that can cause your arm to become weaker or stronger that have nothing to do with what you're holding. So it's hard to control all the variables, even though theoretically muscle testing does kind of make sense. Your second question, Kenny, about Whole Foods is very interesting. We still have Kenny in Florida. Kenny, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Kenny?
I'm still listening.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Second question, thanks so much for your call, by the way, about Whole Food supplements. Sometimes you'll see supplements marketed as whole food supplements, and that is the iron or the nutrients that are in that supplement are derived directly from food. They're not synthesized in a factory like most substances, and of course it's much better to get your nutrients from whole foods. I hate that I have to supplement. I know I've said that before, but I'm going to say it again. I hate that I have to supplement. I wish I could get everything I needed from food. And whole food supplements are, again, theoretically better than regular supplements. The problem with whole food supplements is it's difficult to get the kinds of concentrations and quantities that you need, and whole food supplements tend to be very expensive for the little amount of nutrition that you get. Are they better? On a milligram for milligram basis, they are probably better, but it's just hard and it's too expensive to get the kind of concentrations of the B vitamins and of vitamin C and of vitamin E and of zinc that you need from a whole food supplement. So once again, from a theoretical standpoint, whole food supplements make sense. From a practical standpoint, they're just not practical. They're too expensive and you can't get the kind of high doses that you need. So I hope I answered your question there about whole foods. Thanks so much for your compliments and your call, Kenny. Appreciate it. All right, let's go on. Stay in Florida, actually, and talk to Paul. What's up, Paul?
Ben, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. Thanks for calling, man.
I talked to you about a month ago, and I've been doing what you told me to do and everything, and I've been feeling great. I lost 6 pounds, and
nice.
The bloating's gone.
Oh, nice. Nice.
My problem is out of about past 3 days, my body has just been breaking out with psoriasis, all over now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's just normal healing process.
No. It's definitely not normal. Now, did you have psoriasis ever before? Is it first time?
Okay. Oh, no. I've had it for a long, long time.
All right. Here's real quickly, in the interest of time, psoriasis. I get a lot of letters about psoriasis. I probably should do a show on it, and I think I will do a show on it because it is a pretty unfortunate skin condition. Psoriasis, for those of you who don't know, is when you start to develop these skin patches, and they're called plaques, but they're literally skin cells that pile up on top of the skin, and they can be unsightly and they can be uncomfortable. So here's the deal with how you want to treat psoriasis. First and foremost, you want to treat it as a digestive issue, and you want to link it to certain foods. And it's good, Paul, that you noticed that you got a severe breakout over the last few days, because now you can backtrack it very efficiently. Whenever you get a flare-up in a skin condition, or whenever you get a flare-up in any condition, that is an important clue. Whenever you get a flare-up, you want to think about what did you put in your body within anywhere from 1 to 3 days before. What got into your body? So, Paul, your homework is to think about what you ate in the last 1 to 3 days that would have caused that kind of flare-up to occur. Secondly, there are nutritional deficiencies that can cause problems with psoriasis, most especially around the essential fatty acids, which we've been talking about this morning, and then vitamins A and vitamins D. Vitamins A and vitamins D. Now, the mineral zinc is also very important, and I'm not sure whether the mineral zinc is important because it's specifically important for the skin, or it could be that zinc is important because it's involved in vitamin A metabolism. So for whatever reason, zinc is also very important for psoriasis. So if you're suffering from psoriasis, you, number one, want to figure out what kind of foods you ate, because there is a link between food allergies and psoriatic breakouts. That's number one. Psoriasis is an immune condition. It's actually an autoimmune condition where the body attacks itself. So anytime you have some kind of immune problem, you want to figure out what's going on in the digestive system. Probiotics are also a nice solution for digestive problems, but even more importantly, you want to figure out what kind of foods you ate. And I'd be eliminating those foods, obviously. And then secondly, essential fatty acids, EFAs, vitamin A, vitamin D, and zinc. Now, if you have problems with fat absorption, that means gallbladder issue, liver issue, bile issue, pancreas issue. If you're not absorbing fats, you have to do all of the things that you need to absorb fats. That means taking bile salts, and that's spelled B-I-L-E, bile salts. The enzyme lipase, L-I-P-A-S-E, lipase, in conjunction with a good digestive enzyme supplement, and also probiotics. So vitamin A, I'd be doing about 20 to 30,000 international units a day. Vitamin D, the best way to get your vitamin D is in the sun, and everybody who has psoriasis knows the sun is very healing for psoriasis. If you want to do a supplement, around 5,000 international units a day of 5,000 IU a day of vitamin D is a good place to be. Vitamin D3, cod liver oil is also a good source of vitamin D. 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate, and that's spelled P-I-C-O-L-I-N-A-T-E. Get a good probiotic supplement. That wouldn't hurt either. My favorite is the BioLumin Nightly Essence from Youngevity. And then, of course, eliminating any kind of digestive issues as well. Thanks so much for calling, Paul. I hope that helps. All right, let's go to Justin real quick. Justin in Missouri. Okay, Graz then. What's up, Graz?
Hey,
Graz,
hey, Ben.
Hey, Graz, how's it going? What's Graz? What does Graz stand for there? Graziano?
It's actually short for, yeah, exactly.
Okay, go ahead, Graziano.
First time caller, I've been listening to you since October. You're a pure genius, man. You are also my Alex Jones of vitamins. So
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's
anyways, so a month ago, a buddy of mine took some ibuprofen to after sports, and he got a bunch of blisters the next day in his mouth. By Friday, he had blisters 70% of his body.
Okay.
And it was so bad they had to induce him in a coma down in San Diego UCSD Medical Center.
Oh my God.
And what they're saying is it's Stevens-Johnson syndrome. So I looked it up. It seemed like it's an autoimmune system attack.
Well,
and they got him quarantined also.
Stevens-Johnson. I don't know if Stevens-Johnson syndrome is an immune condition, and it can definitely be a drug reaction. That's a firm diagnosis, the Stevens-Johnson syndrome. That's what they said it was.
And I've been listening to you, and it just didn't make any sense because he's taken the ibuprofen in the past many years. He's 28 years old, and all of a sudden that happened. So I remember a couple months ago you mentioned about maybe getting intravenous vitamin C or something like that, or vitamins intravenous.
IV nutrients are great, especially if you have something severe like Stevens-Johnson. Stevens-Johnson syndrome is a really nasty skin reaction. It usually starts off with like a fever and sore throat. It's like you're getting a cold, and then all of a sudden you start to get blisters in your mouth and in your mucous membranes and your lips, sometimes in the genital areas, or in the eyes. Sometimes it's super nasty. And I never heard of somebody having to go in a coma, but I can see why, because it is really a miserable disease state. Now, it seems hard to believe that he just took some ibuprofen and went into Stevens-Johnson syndrome, and he had no other symptoms. Was he completely healthy before?
Yeah, completely healthy.
Yeah, that doesn't
all the time.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me. He didn't have anything going on in the immune system, arthritis or joint problems or digestive problems or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know, because I've never asked him that. I'd have to ask his parents if they noticed anything like that prior to.
It seems unusual that somebody would just go into a full-blown Stevens-Johnson syndrome symptoms without having any kind of anything going on in the system that they would have noticed before. So in any case, to answer your question, a guy like that would definitely benefit from IV nutrients, especially vitamin C, especially healing nutrients like vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A. These are all very important for skin health. And that might be something to think about. Glutathione, IV glutathione, is also something that you might want to think about. Sometimes they'll use IV immunoglobulins in the hospital. Building up the immune system is the way that you want to handle this. It's a very powerful immune reaction, and it's really unpleasant. So you want to consider supporting the immune system. That's the way I'd be treating it. Of course, you're not treating anything because he's in the hospital, but just from an academic standpoint, from a theoretical standpoint, all of the healing nutrients and all of the immune nutrients would be the way to go. Zinc, glutathione, anything with sulfur in it, sulfur amino acids like N-acetylcysteine, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A. Those would be all the things that I would be thinking about. And I hope he does better. Thanks so much for your call, Graz in Florida. Thanks for all your calls. Appreciate all you guys. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Stay tuned for Alex Jones next on most of these stations. We will talk to you all later, folks. Bye for now.